What's up, dudes? Fellow Chone Junkaroonies, dudes and chicks, if there's any out there. Actually, there's a couple that have subscribed. Thank you. So here it is. So just hitting the strings really soft. Gorgeous, right? I hope it conveys through this microphone, man, how incredibly touch responsive this amp is. So I'll play real light here. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's hotter than heck here, so I'm trying to squeeze in a video on Father's Day. But guys, look, hands down, man. I'm running straight through, by the way. I'm not using this pedal, and I'm not using this pedal. I'm going straight into the front of the amp, and so I'll roll around to some controls here to show you what I mean. The way this amp feels under your fingers, I wish I could give this to everybody who's a guitar player. It makes you write completely differently. And I want to say this, I emphasized this in the other video, but I can't say enough of this, and I think I'll try to shoot you guys a video today. It's going to be a crappy video, but hopefully the audio will be okay. But man, let me tell you something. This amp, just the power section, so for you guys that don't know, when you run back into the effects loop of most amplifiers, you're using just the power section. And normally the power section from one amp to another, as far as a guitar amp is concerned, there's not a ton of difference. You can hear some subtleties in difference, but usually a tube change from, say, an EL34 to a 6L6 to a 6550 and on down the range of power tubes, you can get somewhat of a difference because the tubes change, and the glass envelopes, I'm convinced, are part of the signature of whatever amp it is you're using. So they will make a difference, but when it comes to this particular amplifier, it's the only amp I've ever seen this, where you run the Kemper or an Axe Effects through this power amp, and it is freaking unbelievable how good this amp is. It is, I do not like 6L6s, but I cannot find a Sebago amp with KT88s. Now, I'm in talks with him to build me a KT88 amp, which I would probably have the rest of my life, because this amp, even though it's a 6L6 amp, is hands down, sound-wise, just flabbergasting. I mean, it seriously is so good, it's unreal. So I'm gonna do something here real quick. I'm gonna roll through some filter changes. All I'm gonna do is mess with the filter changes here, and if I clip this mic input, I apologize for that bad audio, but when I mess around with this front end, it's gonna really dramatically change my room mic, and I'm using a C414 here because I want you to hear what's in this room. So I'll mess around with some filter changes here, and I'm gonna go to a neck pickup and switch back and forth here in pickups first. So here we go. Bridge, very low volume. 2 middle single coils. how percussive that is? Same note. So check out these filters. So I'll just... Much warmer, more Fendery sounding maybe. Back down to the bridge pickup on that filter change. Watch this. Switch over here. Barely touching the strings. But if I touch the strings hard, listen to what happens. So here's soft. It is so percussive under your fingers that you can make the amp do just about whatever you want. So I'll roll through, I'm gonna put these straight up here. And so I'm going to turn the master volume, what I consider a master volume, down here in the power amp section. I'm going to turn it down, and without pedals in front of it, I'm going to let you hear this preamp section. I'm in the bridge pickup. It's very violin-like. Hear that? And I mean talking volume. Totally different amplifier, and that noise is because I'm on a single coil pickup. I've got these split, so just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'll put the rock setting in there. A different amp again. Okay, so let me roll this up and see if I can keep from clipping that mic input, guys. See if I've got this right. So this is not a high gain amp. This is a very low gain amp. And I wish it sounded more Marshall-y, but I knew when I bought this amp it didn't. I just wanted to play with it because I never played a Sebago, and I knew by all of my research that this was probably the best amp built today. This and Red Plate. Red Plate's got a really great sound too. So I've rolled the preamp tones preamp up. So let's see what this. There's the Dumble. Hear it? down the volume just a hair. Check the volume out. Cleans right up. Right? That's without a pedal in front of it. Roll the volume up. So that was on the rock setting. I really like that. And if you brighten it back up, back to the bridge. Roll the volume back down. Unbelievably freaking gorgeous, man. I'm telling you, this amp. Back to the bridge. So I'm going to roll some bass into it. Let me see if I can roll this power amp up a little bit and you'll get a sense of the violin type effect. See, I'm clipping that mic input, so let me try to deal with that mic input a little bit here. Listen to that. Okay, so I can't really turn this thing. If I can bury the volumes in this thing, the violin effect of this amplifier, let me try to turn the preamp down. I'll turn the power amp up. See if we... I mean, look at the sustain on a clean note. The bass is gigantic. Now I have a sonic maximizer running through it. I'll click the sonic maximizer off, okay? I might have a chord going bad on me here, but let's see. Unbelievable. Okay, so let's get to the fun part here, and if you guys want to see more clips on this amp, I'll give them to you. In my opinion, close to the baddest clean amp I've ever heard. So I run into it clean pretty much, right? So, and then I put a tone bone plexi tube in the front of it. Or this sounds very Fendery to me. So. have a bad cord here. So I'm going to get out of there. Either that or I got a switch going bad in my guitar. I'm pretty rough on them. So I'm going to show you this plexi tube pedal here. And I'll roll around in this. I'm going to put that sonic maximizer back on. I think I just found the problem. Listen to that. You want an amp to play at bedroom volume? Well, here it is. So hopefully this won't crush that mic input. I'm sure it's going to try, so I'm going to turn this down. Turn the level on this down a little bit so I don't kill that mic input. So there you go, man. I mean, you know, let me roll through some other patches here because I turned this up. So So if you had like an Axe Effects, and I'm all about like when you play out to be able to have a really, really good sounding rig. So you could have these two on the floor next to an AX8 Fractal Audio. You could run a Kemper amp through this thing. It just sounds phenomenal. And that noise you heard earlier was I'm losing the on-off switch to my BB Sonic Maximizer, so it's giving me a little trouble there. I'm gonna have to pull it apart and put a different switch in it. But when it comes to an overall small rig, I mean, you could have this tube amp, every kind of clean sound, every kind of blues sound, every kind of rock sound. Now this doesn't do high gain, but with this one pedal it'll do high gain, and there's several other pedals out there to your taste for as far as a high gain setup. And very easy to control, very quiet. I've got some noise, I think, in this guitar. It's giving me some hassle, but I mean, it's on now and it's dead quiet. So even with this rack here, it's dead quiet. So I wanted to show guys this Sebago amp because in my opinion, it has just flat blown my mind how incredibly unbelievable this amp is. So one other thing I'll do here real quick. So I'll turn this. One thing I never thought I could get close to with this amp is the brown sound, right? Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long, so I realize I'm going to have to come back and play around with this. And if I didn't do a good job with this, guys, I'm sorry, because there's just so much this amplifier is capable of. It's just mind-blowing, man. It's I haven't even showed you guys any tube changes or anything like that. So let me give you an update on some other stuff. The Marshall Majors are being completely tore down and rebuilt. There's some stuff I didn't like about them, so I'm changing, and I'm hopefully able to give you guys a format on how we're doing that. The Marshall Major to me is still the King Kong of amps, but as far as an out-of-box amp that just literally does everything, and let me tell you something else, and this is gonna probably tick some people off, but I didn't mean to. I didn't know this really existed. It was this good. I really don't know where I'd need the Kemper. If you had a good platform, the Kemper would work great with this, with effects, or the Kemper through this works fantastic. and you could get rid of these. So you could take the Kemper, say, with this to a gig. And so I think I'll shoot a video today in the house on the Kemper running through this power ramp and just show you guys straight from the Kemper straight into this how amazing it sounds. It really does puts back in the Kemper that amp in the room thing. And I want to say this to a lot of guys out there who think you know this and that about the Kemper or digital gear. I promise you, I've tested everything on earth, and the Kemper through the power amp in this thing is wonderful. It's not just okay, it sounds cool, this and that. It sounds absolutely unreal, guys. It's not real. The power amp in this thing gives that squishy under the fingers feel that you just don't get with digital gear. It puts it back in it. None of the controls work because you're using the power amp in this, but somehow the power amp in this adds back to the Kemper that articulate, beautiful thing that happens in tubes. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is the only amp that I've ever had that does that. So for you rock, remember that you rock, especially if you help somebody. Go out and do something nice for some dad today. Remember, do something nice in the world. There's a lot of things in the world that aren't so great. Help somebody. Kids, give a guitar lesson. Post a video on how to help somebody. Do something nice for somebody. Go sing a song for an elderly person. Man, there's a million ways to help and to reach out to other people and do the right thing. So I'm You Rock, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, the Sebago amp, man, does it rock. I try to keep the cussing off my channel, but if I did, it would go beep 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 beep. The Sebago amp is that good. I've got Red Plate working on some other of my stuff, and we're working on a couple of design, but I'm really going to try to get this guy to build me a KT88 amp of more of a ultraphonics, he calls it, mod, which is like a Marshall based preamp section, and if he'll do it, I'm gonna get it done. But to all my viewers out there, remember, help somebody. It's Father's Day. Put your arms around a father. Anybody can be a dad, but it takes a hell of a man to fight through this society we live in and be a great father. So be a great father. If you're not a father, try to help somebody who is. I love you. I'm You Rock. Have a great day. Peace, guys and girls. Later.